Hello friends, it's Nico here. Today's video is gonna be a Levi makeup tutorial, so let's pick up this hair and let's get started. This foundation is great for coverage. You can build up on top of it many times, so it's great for caking up basically. It also leaves a dewy finish, which I actually love. I do put on quite a lot. I do with the sponge. I feel like it gives it a softer finish. Make sure you match your neck too. Now I use this foundation stick as a concealer. I know it's not a concealer, I use it anyways. But it works really good for covering imperfections and blemishes. Going over the foundation once again for more coverage. I use two types of powders. This one is just good for those corners that tend to crease up, which would include around the nose, also under the lips. This is the other powder I used, however I realized something was missing. I always contour before I set everything, and that's what I almost skipped. This brush is really good for contouring your chin. However, I forgot or did not realize I wasn't recording, so this is me contouring my nose and skipping the part where I contour my chin. Now, since we are doing Levi, I really like to put a lot of contour on my nose, make that nose as sharp as I possibly can. I bring that contour all the way down to under my eyebrows. I do want to create a lot of shade under there. Maximize that angry boy look. I go over it so many times, it's insane, because I feel like it was never enough. But you can see I do blend it downwards. We are gonna fix that later, but I do like to blend it so it can kind of blend in with the rest of the skin. Added highlight on the bridge of the nose. I don't really know what to call this that I'm doing. I just like how it looks when you darken this area under your lips. And now to start with a light base around the eyes. I used to do white, and then I learned that beige is better because it blends in better. I also go under the eyes with the same eyeshadow. Now for Levi, I am trying to create more depth in his eyes without having to use black eyeshadow. So I am using like a terracotta kind of color. It's actually called Summer Yum if you do have this palette. This part takes forever to make sure I had enough or not too much. I am going in with a pinky color. It's actually called Candied Peach, so it's a peachy color on the inner eyelid. And once again, I do go in with a lighter beige color on top of it to blend it all in. I don't use dark colors. I'm afraid of them because once you use them, you can't really go back. Now with this other palette, I love the orange here. I do want to use that for under the eye, so I do blend it in there. We're going to give him a darker look later, but for now, I do want to start in with this orange color. This was my first attempt at doing Levi. I don't usually practice my looks, so you can see that I am cautiously putting on some, and then if I want more, I just keep putting on more, but it's just a long process because I've never tried it before. Here I applied a brown shade to give him more of a tired look, because his eyes do look pretty tired. And then on the top here of the bridge, I do want to create again more depth and more shadow, so I do put some of that same brown eyeshadow on there and a little bit of the orange as well. Now I know I said this was my first attempt at Levi. I promise you it is worth it in the end. I did like it and it turned out pretty good, so I wouldn't put you through this if I didn't like how it looked in the end. Again, lathering even more of the brown. This actually is called Puree. It's like a light brown shade on top of the contour that I had already done. I barely do makeup tutorials, and let me tell you, it is not easy not being able to look directly at a mirror. I was unsatisfied with the light brown and actually made it even darker. I used a Charmed, I'm sure it's called, along with the terracotta initial color as well to create more, again, depth and for it to be more noticeable because he does have a very strong expression on his face always. I tend to use the same brush for almost every color, so I clean it on my hand before I go to another color. Now for my favorite part is the highlighter and the blush. So we're going to start with the highlighter here to put in the inner corners of the eye. It helps bring out the makeup. The whole look in general, I think even if it's male makeup, you shouldn't hold back on the highlighter. It's still very important. Using the same brush, I align my nose bridge with the highlighter. I do sometimes use my finger to do that, but I found the brush, it's a little better. And once again, unsatisfied with the color, I do want to go in for a darker one. So I do put in a little bit of more lighter brown on the eyeshadow around the eyes. I love this blush so much, I'm actually using it for the eyes as well. Again, to create that tired look, I put it under the eye bags in the inner corners, but like on the bottom. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but yeah, it just makes more of a tired look. I use two brushes for the blush. This one is more to align around my nose and the contour that I did for the nose. So it just makes it easier to just kind of put it there and brush it down to blend in with the rest of the face. Without overdoing it, I do put a little bit under my nose for the blush as well, and then go over it again to blend it in. I don't want him to look like he's actually blushing. Again, going in with more brown for under the eyes to get him a more tired look. I just kept feeling like it wasn't enough. And now to the most anxiety-inducing part, which is the eyes or the eyelining. I do struggle with either wanting it to make it look natural or not, so I do use eyeshadow first to kind of line up where I want to be or where I want to have the eyeliner to go. Especially if you haven't done the makeup before, you want to see how you're going to shape your eyes with this character to resemble his eyes. I do this a couple times to see if it looks how I want it to look before I continue to the next eye. And now realizing that I do need to go on top of it with eyeliner. As much as I love how just eyeshadow sometimes looks, it's not the best for anime characters. With the eyeshadow, I still go under the eyes as well to give him a shape, because I don't like to shape it up too much with the eyeliner. I kind of do that part with the eyeshadow and then just the eyeliner on top. More brown eyeshadow, except this time I'm actually going around what I just lined to blend it in with the eyeshadow, like with the black eyeshadow as well. And going in with a thin brush of foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and fix it a little bit, make it look cleaner and more aligned. The hell? Oh God, don't you just hate when that happens? And continuing, I am aligning it, making it look more clean. I'm still gonna go over it with more eyeshadow, but at least now it has the shape. The orange eyeshadow, I'm gonna go over just those parts around it and maybe a little bit even lower on this whole area. I do enjoy the blush and the highlighter, so here I am retouching it. I do want to bring down that with the same black eyeshadow here in the inner corners, but just a little bit, not too much. Now to the most stressful part of this whole process is putting this eyeliner and not screwing it up. I did one eye in video and then I realized I can't do this, so I just backed away for a moment to finish the other eye. It's time for the fun part. Now is the eyebrows. I always do eyebrows with eyeshadow. Sometimes I do use a lighter shade if I'm not very confident on getting the shape right straight away, but I guess I was feeling confident this day because I went straight for the black. Went straight in there. I do shave off more than half my eyebrows, so it's a little bit easier for me, but I do have to brush up the hairs up a little bit to just have that eyeshadow blend in, right? I am happy with this one. Now to the next one. Oh, look at that, magically appeared. Going in with this light brown again, I'm actually gonna do like a little crease on the bottom so it makes him look angrier. I do like doing these little details depending on the character if it's needed. I did the same thing right here under the eyes. Really loved how it turned out and ended up blending it in a little bit more, but it did give it a more definition. Enjoyed it so much I kept doing it a little bit more. Added a little bit crease down under here, which I blended in. A little bit over here. Now I was moving on to the lips until I realized I'm missing something. I actually never put on the powder to finish everything, so this is the powder I used to set everything in place. And now moving on to the lips. Now this is a very sad part because I thought I was recording. I was pissed. It's not the same, but I am gonna go over it and kind of an idea of what I did. So using the eyeshadow, I went in for darker colors for the inner parts here, including the orange one as well. I don't like to leave the lips pale, even for male cosplays. I feel like they do need to have some color. So I did also go into the corners here. While I'm looking for whatever I lost here, I will do a separate video for the lip parts at some point. Back to the highlighter, yay, I love this part. I love putting highlighter on the top of the lips here. It just creates like more of a shape, cute little shape. I feel like every character looks good with this, but I mean, it also depends on who it suits best. I also put some on under the eyebrows. Now for the blush, I don't want to overdo it. I'm just putting a little bit on the temples here and also on the bottom of my nose. I do like to put a little bit of red, especially on a character that looks tired and angry all the time. So it just makes it a little bit more defined when it comes to the face and the expressions. And we are done with the makeup. I love how this turned out. Let me know in the comments below if you like it, if this was useful to you, and if you're interested in seeing more. I do have pictures on my Instagram. And which character would you like me to do next? I'll take it into consideration. I do love doing makeup. It's one of my favorite things about cosplay. And please like and subscribe if you like any of my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and watch me model for a few more seconds here. Bye!